Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain Free You. Still at the lake. Gonna be heading out to dinner with my son for my birthday. Thank you for all the birthday wishes, for anybody who knew that and wished me well. So today's topic is gonna be reparenting yourself. So I'll get to that in a minute. I'll let you take a look at those couple of ducks over there. Can you see them? Hopefully you can. Take a couple of nice deep breaths. Breathe in the nature. Exhale the indoors. Breathe in the peace. Exhale the noise. Breathe in the new day. Exhale the old crap. So, today's message is about reparenting yourself. Now many of us, not all of us, but many of us look back at our parents and our childhood and we go, wow, they were messed up, they screwed up, look at all the bad things they did, how they traumatized me and all that kind of stuff. And there's plenty of people who also go, you know what, I didn't have that bad of a childhood. So a good question to ask is whether or not you'd be comfortable if a 4-year-old that you care about was being raised the same exact way that you were being raised, right? You may say, well, my parents were good, but no, there was a lot of things that weren't cool. But my parents did the best they could. And, it's really easy to tell ourselves that our parents did really good and we had a good childhood, but as I look back, sorry, trying to stop a sneeze. As we look back, many of us have plenty of things that, to a young child, were most likely pretty traumatic. And so, when I talk about reparenting yourself, it's because many of us continue to use self-talk that mimics the language that we heard as a child. You're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not pretty enough, you're never going to amount to anything, you can't get your work done, and thousands and thousands of different critiques. In some cases, those critiques were offered, with good intention, but as a young kid, we oftentimes felt that was critical, demeaning. In some cases, the statements and the yelling and the things that happened to us as kids were just outright wrong, outright mean-spirited, outright abusive. And doesn't matter how old you are now. I would assume you're an adult, or at least getting close to adulthood. And there is always an opportunity to treat yourself the way you wish you were treated growing up. To reparent yourself. And if you could kind of view yourself as a kid right now, suffering the things you're suffering right now, and if your parents were to be exactly the way you wish they were, how would they treat you? Well, guess what? You can become your own parent. You can give yourself a stern talking to if you need to. You can give yourself loving support and encouragement and compliments and, high self-esteem. You can do all sorts of things for yourself that perhaps you wish were done for you growing up. And look, we cannot change the past, but we can change our relationship to it, right? We can absolutely change how we feel about the past, learn the lessons from the past, and then decide to do better moving forward. So look, some of us, many of us, have had it rough. And sometimes it was early childhood, other times it was traumas recently with relationships, marriages, kids, parents, whatever. We all have our traumas, big ones and little ones. And so, there's always today. How are you going to treat yourself today? And if you find yourself speaking to yourself and criticizing and judging yourself in a way that you would never do to a friend or a child, why the heck are you putting up with that from yourself to yourself, right? The things we think and say most often, the brain believes. So if your internal dialogue is negative, critical, judgmental, never going to do this, never going to do that, what do you think is going to happen? Your brain's going to believe it. So the self-talk is important. And I would say self-parenting. Love yourself the way you wish you were loved growing up. Give yourself the love and support and kindness that you wish you had growing up. And frankly, yesterday. Right? If the people around you are not treating you the way you want to behave or be treated, treat yourself that way. Right? Because if you wait for the outside world to treat you the way you want to be treated, and if you wait for the outside world to give you your self-esteem, you may be waiting a long time. Because some of us, we're surrounded by people that are not always treating us the way we want to be and need to be treated. So it's up to you to treat yourself the way you want to and need to be treated. It's up to you to parent yourself the way you wish you were parented growing up. It's up to you to have the internal dialogue that supports and encourages you as opposed to holds you down and beats you up. So listen to your internal dialogue sometimes and say, if I were saying this stuff to a friend, how long would they stay a friend before they said, I'm out and checked out? If you were saying this same stuff that you say to yourself all the time, to a child of yours or another child, at what point does it seem like it's abuse, right? And these things are really important. So, parent yourself, love yourself, treat yourself the way you wish you were treated. Because guess what? Even if you're still surrounded by assholes, treating yourself well, with respect, love, kindness, support, encouragement, goes a heck of a long way to diminish the impact of those people around you. And so, that's what I've got for you. Parent yourself the way you wish you were parented. Treat yourself the way you wish others would treat you. Because if you're treating yourself poorly, don't be surprised that you feel like crap emotionally, mentally, and even physically. It's all connected, folks. So, give some thought as to how you're treating yourself. And would you do that to yourself if you were 4 years old? Or would that come across as not too cool? So, a little insight. Take a look at your behavior, your thoughts, your words, your self-talk, and make some adjustments. Treat yourself the way you want to be treated. Don't wait for somebody else to do it. That's your job. So, love you guys and gals. I'll give you another quick peek at the lake here. It's gorgeous. It's quiet. There's nature around, the birds, all sorts of stuff. So, love you guys and gals, and I will see you tomorrow.